Hi all, welcome to this Crystal Palace predictions video. This one is probably up there with one of the tricky ones within the league to kind of factor in, because some individual players have been very impressive this season for Crystal Palace, and then some of them haven't really done like anything that kind of shouts home about. But if we can smash likes, it would be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at G is a legend. All the links are down below. Follow us on the channel and social media links as always, and comment down below your predictions for the like Crystal Palace like ratings if you feel like I'm on point or kind of horribly off. But it's just a fun and also just to see where we go with it. But yeah, so this will be one of these ones I think that's going to be a little bit harder said than done, but I'll give it a bash regardless. So starting off in net is Guaita. I'm giving him a +1. Might be generous, might not be, but I feel like he's just kind of consistent for Crystal Palace, and he's kind of established as the #1 goalie, and that's kind of the main reasoning behind it really. I just didn't really see any other kind of reasonings towards it, but he obviously could just stay as a 79 because of how Palace were last season, but time will tell of course. Van Aanholt, I decided to upgrade by 1, seemed quite fair. He's always been pretty much like just a steady, consistent player for whoever he plays for, and I felt like giving him a +1 just seemed kind of fair. I wasn't really trying to be too fancy with him, and that's kind of the way I felt about it. Sako, I have decided to downgrade of 2. He may not be affected, but I just thought let's just go for it, and that was the way I thought let's go. That he may stay the same, he may even just go -1, but I was just trying to be logical with it, but because he's not really been doing too great these days, and I thought might as well just be honest. Cahill, I've upgraded to being one of the bright sparks in Crystal Palace's season, and obviously we got quite a big downgrade, what was it, last year from 81 to 77, so we've bumped him back up to, obviously pace are not really going to improve, but it'll probably be like say defending and physical, maybe other elements within his game. And obviously I remember seeing a few folk had even said there's an outside shout for a tots for EPL, just due to his consistency for the team. Then Ward is kind of a tricky one I think for a number of reasons. He could go to a 75. I just went +1. And just take it from there. Nothing else kind of screamed out at me to kind of go with him. Milivojevic, I'm hoping stays the same because I don't really see him going down or up. So 81 seemed kind of most logical for him, but at the same time we'll see how that one particularly plays out for him. He's just usually he's like the set piece taker, and like wherever he gets his goals from, it's usually free kicks and penalties. So that's kind of where his return comes from. So don't be surprised if he was to sneak like an upgrade and it's due to say shooting and passing, for example. Max Meyer hasn't really done anything of note at Crystal Palace. Not really done what a lot of people maybe thought when he came to the Premiership, because they had a bit of hype on him due to his Schalke days and a bit of hype there. I've just went down 1 on him, just kind of -1 across the board for his stats. Guaita just kept the same, he just kind of goes about his business, nothing fancy, nothing glamorous, and does what it says on the tin. Zaha, I was kind of leaning towards giving him a +1, but at the same time it was like his team this season from like what most consistent was kind of like the an interesting pick, but at the same time realistically I would keep him as he is if I'm brutally honest. 83 rated and just kind of like golfing class within the team for ratings. Ayew, gave him an upgrade to a 77, bumping up 2, so fair play to the guy for a good season, bringing a number of goals for the team. I don't see him going much more than a 77, but at the same time, if you've usually had like a half decent season, you'd expect at least a decent-ish upgrade regardless of team or division. Like even if you were like playing for a team that's relegated and you've got say 20 goals and you stay with them, I'd still expect an upgrade, if I'm honest. Benteke, downgrading him of 2 to a 73. I think it's been a long time since he's been a silver. I think it's like his Aston Villa days, I think. He doesn't really do much these days. Doesn't really bring goals, doesn't bring much. And that's kind of my reasoning towards it. Wouldn't be surprised if it was to be a rare silver, but I don't really see much happening for him to kind of justify much else. Wayne Hennessy, another one I've decided to downgrade to a silver. He's not really playing. That was kind of the main reasoning towards it. I thought he's not playing, might as well downgrade him and just take it from like kind of there as it were. That was kind of my thought process. Thought why keep him as a gold. Tompkins is down 2 to a 76, so another downgrade within the team. Didn't really see anything to justify keeping him as a high rated gold within the team. But at the end of the day, it's each to their own for the thought process. Riedwald, just kept him as he is. Nothing was really screaming out to me to kind of justify keeping him as a downgrade or an upgrade, and taking it from there. Scott Dan downgrading 1 to a 74. Not playing too much, and also just kind of advancing years as well, playing a part within that. That was kind of my reasoning towards him. Schlupp, another one that we've downgraded of 1. Not really doing much for the team either, as it were. That was kind of the reason. It's like if you're not playing games, you're scoring goals, you're not creating assists, even if you're just getting like 30 sub appearances and it's like 10 minutes a game, it's like you're not really bringing much to the party. It's like some of the players I've seen, some of the stats I've looked into for some players and some teams, that's kind of how it is. It's like so many like they've played like maybe 2,000 minutes over 30 games. It's like they've not really contributed much. MacArthur is kept the same, just kind of felt a lot fair with him. Same with McCarthy. Didn't really see anything that kind of made me justify keeping him as he was. Andros Townsend is kind of like another one that I thought, do I keep him as he is? Do I downgrade him? Do I even upgrade him? I wasn't really totally sure actually, if I was honest, so I just thought keep him as he is and we take it from there. And then Connor Wickham, another player that's still within the Crystal Palace wage bracket for what I've seen. Potentially maybe by the time FIFA 21 comes about he's left, who knows, but he was someone that I decided to downgrade 1 as well. And obviously like some of the like youth players within the team, I wasn't 100% sure like who was like when I was reading through like the squad lists, I was like if they were still actually officially part of the team or if they're like whether it be as a youth player or whatever, so I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't want to completely include them just in case like Tavares, Woods, Dreyer, Kilo, Kirby, Innes. I didn't really want to include them in case they weren't actually still part of like the team. Now obviously, as with like all the other teams, like transfers might play a factor, so Zaha may end up at another team, or Benteke or Milivojevic, whoever, someone may end up out of the team. But as I said, this was mostly everyone I could find, like 20 players. It would make an impact on like the League SBC. If it was to drop, it would make it a little bit harder, especially when you think of it from a like defensively, you would be able to make a back 4 of gold. Forward line, you're struggling a little bit because you'd have Ayew. Zaha's obviously too high rated. Benteke would be probably quite expensive as maybe a silver, so you might end up relying on like Townsend as like a spare striker or whatever. But we'll see what happens. This is roughly where I'm going with it at the moment, and we will see how it progresses from there. So let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on the Crystal Palace predictions, if I kind of got them spot on, or if I'm a little bit of work to be done on these. But hopefully you find it useful. As I said, it's just a bit of fun, just keeps content flowing and gives you guys discussion points. So smash likes always, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter, GZLegend, take it easy all, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all later.